dividing rational expressions. Well, your I cans will be I can multiply and divide rational expressions. I can identify restrictions on the domain. The identifying restrictions on the domain, same as what we did before. Let's get started. Okay, again, thanks to Regents Prep for some of this stuff. When you multiply algebraic fractions, you do them the same as you did numeric. You multiply the tops, or numerators, and you multiply the bottoms, or denominators. How do you multiply numerical fractions, you ask? Well, s over t times x over y is sx over ty, where t does not equal 0 and y does not equal 0. Should be easy. If possible, do reduce or cancel prior to multiplying. It's so much simpler than simplifying at the end. You must also always watch out for excluded values, those values that cause the expression to be undefined, which means that the denominator would be 0. Let's look at some practice. Best way to understand. Examples. 18a cubed over 20b squared times 5b to the 4th over 6a. All right. First things first. Can you simplify? Sure. Notice that I can do 6 will go into itself once. It will go into 18 3 times. Here and here. A cancels with a cubed to a squared. B squared and b to the 4th leaves me with a b squared here. 5 goes into itself once and into 20 4 times. Boom. Now I have something a little bit easier. 3a squared times b squared over 4 times 1 is just 3a squared b squared over 4. Now, the excluded values are b does not equal 0, a does not equal 0. Where did I get that from? From the original. Multiplying rational expressions is very similar to simplifying them. Now remember, you can only cancel top with bottom or bottom with top. There's no canceling bottom with bottom or top with top. Okay? It's simplifying a fraction. Remember to factor first if possible. So here I have a plus b over a times ab over a squared plus 3ab plus 2b squared. Let's factor this denominator. Here I factored it. Now, before I just write down my answer, I do need to look at the denominator here and say that a cannot be 0, a cannot be equal to b or negative b, and a cannot equal negative 2b. Those are the three things. And then here's my answer. How do I get these? I set each denominator not equal to 0. A plus 2b does not equal 0. A plus b does not equal 0. And then I solve for one of the variables. That's it. Next up, here's this one. I've written down what you're going to do here. Try it. Pause the video and see what you get. Ba-dum-bum. You back? Here we go. Factors and factors. Woo! Okay. Now, cancel bottoms and tops or tops and bottoms. Now, before you go getting your final answer, let's look at the factored form and let's identify our excluded values. X can't be 4, X can't be negative 4, X can't be 0, and X cannot be negative y over 3. Boom. Now I can go through after canceling everything and I get my simplified rational expression. That's it. Hello. Oops, sorry about that. Phone rang. Next up. Are you ready to try some? Of course you are. Pause the video and try these three, and then I'll reveal the answers. Pause the video right now. You're back. Let's see how you did. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. And here's the third one. Okay, these were some easier ones. If you need to, pause the video and check out your answers. Here's an answer, here's an answer, and here's an answer. Don't forget, part of the answer includes the restricted values. Okay, Try a couple of harder ones. Again, pause the video. Seriously, pause it now and try these. Ready to find out how brilliant you are? Here you go. I know, your brilliance astounds even you, right? Here it is. Simplifies to 2y as long as y does not equal 6, negative 3, or 1. This one simplifies to negative 1. However, y can't be 8 or 0. All right, nice job. Well, dividing. Let's face it, dividing can't be really harder than multiplying, because the way you divide fractions, the only extra thing you do is you flip and multiply. Remember, you change the division sign to multiplication and flip the second fraction only, or take the reciprocal of it. Let's look. S over t divided by x over y is equal to s over t times y over x, where t does not equal 0 and x does not equal 0, and oh, by the way, y does not equal 0. Let's go on. Again, best way to look at it. Here, our first problem, bum-ba-da-bum-bum-bum. What do? We multiply by the reciprocal of the divisor. That means flip the second one and multiply. Now, we're right back to what we did in the first few. We need to factor, so we factor. Then we need to identify our restrictions. And we even have to make sure, here we simplify, and we simplify. Now, the one other thing that we have to do when we look at this, okay, here's something I want to be very clear about, okay? This cannot equal 0, this cannot equal 0, and this cannot equal 0. Why? Well, it should be pretty obvious. If this equals 0 or this equals 0, those two fractions don't work. Additionally, remember, this is a fraction with a fraction. So if this is 0, this says it's this thing divided by 0. I can't do that either. So I have to make sure that all three pieces, none of them can become 0. And in this case, there's only two exceptions or restrictions. Next up. Now remember, this could be something over something over something over something. These are fractions in fractions. I'm just not writing them that way. I'm writing them as division problems, which then simply means that you are flipping, factoring, and multiplying. So first, let's change it to multiplication. Let's factor. Let's take a look at all of my restrictions. Remember, things that have got to be restricted, the denominator here, numerator, and denominator over here. And when I simplify it all the way down, I'm left with lonely little old x. Again, if you have to, go back, pause, and walk yourself through it. Hey, your turn today. Try these. Pause the video. Remember, flip, simplify, identify. And here you go. Answer, answer, and answer. Don't forget to make sure that you state your restrictions. Any problems? Now, you know those were some easier ones. Here are some harder ones. Try them. Pause the video. Come on back, and here's your answers. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Were you able to get them all? Good job. So glad you did. Now, in summary, to multiply rational expressions, simplify if possible. Then multiply numerators together and denominators together. To divide rational expressions, flip the second expression and multiply. Math speak, multiply the dividend by the reciprocal of the divisor. Somehow, flipping the second expression and multiplying, everybody understands what to do. The other is the specific math speak. Good luck. I know you can do it.